Well, welcome to the BNI Effect. Ordinarily, I have amazing conversations with Brisbane BNI members, sharing with you a whole range of tips and tricks so that you can maximise your BNI membership. But today, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. You see, when I'm recording this video, it's in January of 2025, and I thought what I'd do is share with you how you can ensure that this year is your best year ever in business. I'm Tony Meredith and I'm a business coach, and I've been coaching now for almost 7 years, and I've seen what it takes to create phenomenal success in your business. And what I thought I'd do is share with you some of the tips and tricks that I've gathered over my years of coaching so that I can impart this with you and ensure that you have the most amazing year ahead. So let's get into it. So the first thing you want to be doing is you want to be starting with the end in mind. And I got this concept from Stephen Covey, who wrote the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And it's all about getting clear on what's your vision, whether it be for your life, for your business, for your networking. What vision have you got for yourself? And so by December 2025, what would you like your life to be looking like? Whether it be in the areas of relationships, health and wellness, fun and adventure. Do you have a vision for yourself in those areas of your life? What about your business? Do you want to grow your business, expand your business, introduce new products or services, hire staff, perhaps open a second location? What vision have you got for your business? And lastly, given we're doing the BNI Effect podcast, what is your vision for networking? Have you got a goal for networking over the next 12 months? And one of the things you may do if you're visually oriented is start to create a vision board. Start to take some clippings of where you'd like things to be in your life, your business, your networking, and start to pull it all together and create a vision board of what your life will look like come December 2025. And I call this life, business, networking by design. I truly believe that you can create whatever life, business, or networking you want, but you've got to start by getting very clear on what's the vision for those areas. As I mentioned earlier, I've been coaching for a long time, and I've seen what it takes to create phenomenal success and bring your goals to life. And so it's one thing about having an amazing vision. We want to bring that vision to reality. And so I've come up with 5 goal achievement elements that I believe you need to ensure phenomenal success in 2025. The first is setting. You want to set a goal. Get clear on what that goal is. Then we're going to need to plan for that goal. So it's one thing to set a goal, but what's the plan that's going to help us get there? There's a saying which is a goal without a plan is just a wish. So we don't want this to be a wish for you. We want you to bring that vision into reality. The next is to take action. You have to take some action, be committed, be dedicated, be consistent, but take action. Next, it's about celebration. Celebrate all the wins along the way. Constantly reward yourself for the great efforts that you're achieving. And lastly, it's evaluate. Sometimes things may not go as planned. And so it's about course correcting, recognizing that I've gone off track, but how do I get back on track pretty quickly? And as you can see, that spells out the acronym for SPACE. So that's my goal achievement elements. Now let's break them down a little bit further. So we'll start with goal setting. Get clear on what it is that you want. And I'll use the example of a GPS. If you were to go to a new destination, you don't just type in the suburb and hope that you miraculously arrive where you want to get to. You type in the street number, the street name, the suburb, and guess what happens? You arrive at your destination. And so it's no different when it comes to a goals point of view. You need to get vividly clear on what it is that you want to accomplish. There's a framework, a well-known framework in goal setting. It's called SMART, and it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time. So whatever goal you come up with, it needs to go through those particular elements. It's not good enough just to say, I want to grow sales in my business, or I want to increase my revenue from networking. Be clear and specific with what it is. Is it measurable? Can you quantify that improvement? Is it achievable? It's one thing to have a stretch goal. It's another thing if that goal is impossible. Because if it's impossible and it's too big of an ask, then you'll throw your hands in the air and it'll become a demotivator pretty quickly. Is it relevant? Is it relevant to an overarching goal or purpose that you've got for yourself? And lastly, when will you accomplish this particular goal by? So when you're thinking about goal setting, get really clear on, is it specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timed? Have I run it through that methodology when it comes to setting clear goals? Now, BNI has a profitability goal. And the amazing thing is that they've got a worksheet that they've created. But the idea is that how much money do you want to make from BNI in 2025? Well, let's say that you wanted to make $100,000 from networking in 2025. Well, what's your average transaction value? Your average transaction value might be $2,000. And what's your closing ratio? As much as I'd love to think that your close is 100%, the reality is that we don't always close every referral opportunity that comes our way. So your closing ratio might be 75%. Well, with that in mind, how many referrals do you need to achieve in order to achieve your revenue goal of $100,000? Well, the answer is 66.6. You need 66.6 referrals throughout the course of 2025. And given that we're going to be having BNI meetings for 48 weeks of the year, then you're going to need to accomplish 1.39 or almost 1.4 referrals every week if you're going to hit your goal of $100,000 in the year ahead. And so the idea of this is getting quite granular, but when you think about what we talked about on the previous slide around specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time, then we've been able to cover off a lot of those elements. So from a goal planning point of view, and this is about we've got clear on where we want to be, we want to accomplish $100,000 by the end of the year, and we've figured out that it's going to take 1.39 referrals per week. So now I plan backwards. So I start coming backwards. So I always plan in reverse, and then I take action in a forwards direction. So what milestones need to be achieved between December 2025 and where I am now in January 2025? What are the milestones that need to be achieved? What tasks need to be completed? 9 months from now, the end of September, where do I need to be to make sure that I'm on track from $100,000 revenue, my 1.39 referrals per week? Where do I need to be 9 months from now, 6 months from now at the end of June, 3 months from now at the end of March, 1 month from now on Valentine's Day, 2 weeks from now, and 1 week from now? So it's about planning in reverse and making sure that you've considered the milestones and the tasks that need to be accomplished, because then as you take action in a forwards direction, by making sure that you're on track, that will ensure that you deliver on your goal of $100,000 revenue from BNI in 2025. Have you heard of the term lead and lag indicators? So a lag indicator is retrospective measures, and they're reactive. And they measure the outcomes of past actions and reflect the success or failure of previous strategies. They're critical for understanding, but you can't change the outcome. It's in the past. A lead indicator is a predictive measure. It's proactive. It's foresight into the future or forecasting. And it enables you to implement strategies to positively impact the outcome. So for me, the key is that we want to be focusing on the lead indicator, because focusing on the lead indicator will ensure that I deliver the lag indicator. So in the example that I used, $100,000 is my lag indicator. That is my outcome. My outcome is $100,000 revenue from BNI, but I won't get that $100,000 if I don't focus on the lead indicators, the things that sit within my control to deliver $100,000, or even more granular, to deliver 1.39 referrals per week. But the good news is that I've come up with a list of 30. And so if you're listening to me on the podcast, obviously you won't be able to see them. But if you watch this on YouTube, then you'll be able to see all the 30 increased referral opportunities, but I'll read a few out. So starting with, be specific with your weekly ask, schedule in regular one-to-ones. Whilst I recognise the commitment or the minimum is one one-to-one per week on average, what about if you increase that? What about if you did 2 per week? Educate members on your ideal client. Follow up on all referrals that you've received. Actively refer other people, so on and so forth. There literally are 30 things that you can be doing to deliver a phenomenal result in 2025, achieve your 1.39 referrals per week, and ultimately achieve $100,000 in revenue. So the third step in the SPACE formula is action. We're going to take action, and that's about committing to daily, weekly, and monthly actions, right? So we've gone and got our goal, we've created our plan, but now we've got to figure out, am I committed to achieving the things, accomplishing the things that I want to accomplish every day, every week, every month? What are those things? And so again, we talked about a few referral increase opportunities before. How often are you going to have one-to-ones? What type of one-to-one are you going to have? Is it going to be a quality one-to-one? Are you going to get organised beforehand? Send your gains profile. Update your profile on Connect, etc. Build a growth mindset. If you don't think that you can achieve $100,000 in 2025, it's never going to happen. But if you believe that you can do it, if you tell yourself you can do it, if you think about ways that I can achieve it, then it can come to fruition. So rather than saying, oh my gosh, $100,000 is hard, I've never done $100,000 in a year with BNI before, what if you asked a different question? What if you said, well, what do I need to do to accomplish $100,000 in 2025? What are the things that I can do, the people that I can speak to, the activities that I can implement? Now I'm asking a different question. When I ask a different question, I get a different answer. Find an accountability buddy, someone who can hold your hand, hold you to account, or find a coach. I happen to know a pretty good one, but find a coach, someone who can guide you through the process to ensure you have phenomenal success this year. And track your progress. Go back to the SMART acronym around measurable, right? Track your progress. Keep an update on how you're going. What have you accomplished? Are you being successful? Are you on track? Are you off track? Celebrate every effort. Now, this is all about creating a framework of positive reinforcement. See, as humans, we love to get something for doing something. So celebrate every effort means celebrate all of the little wins. Don't just celebrate when you achieve the $100,000 for the year. By all means, do that. But the problem will be that you won't get to $100,000 for the year if you don't celebrate all the small wins along the way. So, for example, if you set yourself a goal of having 2 one-to-ones per week, celebrate that. Now, when I say celebrate or reward, create a reward that's proportionate to the task or the achievement that you've done. So don't go and do 2 one-to-ones in a week and then take yourself off on an overseas holiday. You'll go broke pretty quickly. But what you might do is you might allow yourself the opportunity to read a book, or go to your favorite coffee house, or go to and try a craft beer, or watch your favorite show on Netflix. Right, walk the dog. Come up with a reward that's more proportionate to the task that you've just gone and accomplished. And link the rewards to goals. So set yourself those goals, set yourself those plans along the way, those micro goals along the way, but link your rewards to that. So when you accomplish certain things, what's your reward? Now I've got something to look forward to. Right, now I've got something that's in front of me that I can bound out of bed for every day and work towards making this year the most outstanding year in my networking history. And evaluate your progress. I wish that everything went 100% to plan. Doesn't happen. So evaluate your progress. Constantly review daily, weekly, monthly. Am I on track? Am I off track? Right? Perhaps you want to rate your progress on a scale of 1 to 10. At the end of every week, you might challenge yourself and say, well, give yourself a rating on your progress. Maybe if you say you're a 7 out of 10, the next question you should ask is, well, what do I need to do next week to ensure I'm a 10 out of 10? What are those key things that I need to be doing differently to have a better outcome? You can ask my 2 universal questions, and I use these questions with my coaching clients and myself all the time. The first one is, what went well? What were the great things that I did today, or the great things that I did this week? And that's all about building a framework of gratitude. Being grateful for the wonderful things that you have accomplished. It's very easy to whinge and whine about the things we haven't got, but let's fixate on the things that we do have as a priority. Secondly, ask yourself, what can I be doing differently? Don't whinge and whine because you didn't have a great week, because you made mistakes, because it didn't work out for you. That week's gone. Move forward. What are the things that I can be doing differently as I move forward? So next week, again, if I rate myself a 7 out of 10, how can I ensure that next week 9 out of 10 or even a 10 out of 10? What are those things that I can be doing? So in summary, to ensure that this year is your best year ever, whether it be in life, in business, or in networking, create your vision. Start with the end in mind. Implement my SPACE framework. Set clear goals. Build plans to achieve those goals. Take consistent action. Be disciplined. Celebrate every effort. Reward yourself, but make sure those rewards are proportionate. Constantly evaluate your performance. That is the key to ensuring that this year is your best year ever. Now, I also want to leave you with a quote, which is, a year from now, you may wish you had started today. And that was from Karen Lamb. And so the key is, I've now given you the framework for success. That's the easy bit. If you've come this far in the podcast or the video, you've done the easy bit. The hard bit now is to implement the things that I talked about so that you can have phenomenal success. But when you follow what I've gone through today, I have every faith that this year ahead is going to be your best year ever.